Hello and welcome to Thaiger Bites with Tim Newton and me, Jay, sponsored by Coffee Culture. Tim?
Are you so important that you only have one name? You're like Madonna or Sting.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. This is our chance where we bite back, we Thaiger bite back for all the comments that we get. We get about 1,000 comments plus every single day.
That's right, on all of our platforms from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, as well as the Thaiger Talk forum on the website.
And thank you very much to the moderators on Thaiger Talk. They do an amazing job in very difficult circumstances. They're all volunteers, and there's about 7 of them now. So thank you very much to the moderator gang. You're doing a great job.
All right, Tim, take us away with our first comment.
Okay, we've got lesbian alien.
Of course.
Many Asian countries wear a face mask, but Omicron is on the rise.
Ooh, conspiracy.
So the thought, I think, behind lesbian aliens' comments there is that there must be some link between people having to wear face masks, which is the situation still in many Asian countries, and the rise of Omicron, which is now occurring. As we've said a few times, we believe that the wearing of face masks and the general, I suppose, slightly more fearful attitude towards citizens, which is very different from Western countries, which are now in the throes of opening up. But we think all those restrictions are actually slowing the rise of Omicron. It's still going to happen, but we believe it's going to be a bit more drawn out. That's just my opinion, but yeah, thanks for the comment.
I have a question for you, Tim.
Yes?
What would we do? Like, let's say if we were live reporting and we were working for, some organizations like, for example, BBC. There's certain names that they probably can't say. So if they meet someone like lesbian alien, do they just go, yes, I have with me Miss L Alien. How do you feel, Miss Alien?
Well, that's the joys of live TV. Sometimes those magnificent mistakes happen and they end up getting a damn side more clicks than all the good work that those broadcasters do.
Someone gets fired.
We haven't made a good mistake that's deserved the blooper sort of thing yet.
Not yet. Or maybe we have.
Yeah, but I think we just laugh them off as we go.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
No one takes us seriously.
Yeah. I've got a comment here from Mr. Mike who says, in Mexico now, walked over the border, handed someone my passport. He looked at it and he handed it back. Then walked into Mexico. No stamps, no scanning, no paperwork, no PCR test, no Mexico pass. They're still taking COVID pretty seriously. Everyone wears masks, but all the hotels, restaurants, and bars are open. Wow.
Sure. Okay. Look, we understand that there are different places in the world that are in a different phase of their COVID recovery. And a lot of countries are now opening up. But that's just not the situation here in Asia. I mean, we can't do anything about it. If you've got a grievance, you need to address that with the Thai government. As we keep on saying, the differences between Mexico and Thailand, it depends very much where you're coming from. If you're obviously in the US, it's going to be a lot easier to get to Mexico than it is to Thailand. But if people in Europe, where Mexico or Thailand could be around about the same distance, you might decide to go to Mexico. And that's fine. But as we keep on saying, Mexico isn't Thailand. Yeah. So if you're after the Thai experience and all that brings and all that we love, then you come to Thailand. If you like Mexico, you go to Mexico. Yeah.
I've lived here for 20 years. I'd love to go to Mexico, and Mike makes it sound pretty cool.
You moved here when you were, what, 43?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fantastic. Okay. Matt James says, so is this upsurge in COVID, is it the Omicron variant or COVID-19? Well, I think the answer is it's all COVID-19, as the Omicron variant is a variant of COVID-19. And a documentary, I think, came out 6 weeks ago and was covered by Dr. John Campbell as well, who's a very popular doctor on YouTube. And he was saying that the Omicron variant, it is thought, was from the original COVID-19 that emerged in China, and then it went back to pigs, and then sometime over the intervening 18 months...
Went to bats?
It came back into the human population.
From pigs?
It went back to pigs, and then... but anyway, that was covered in a paper. It hasn't sort of become a wide circulated...
What about the Chinese bats? What
Well,
have
the
I been
Chinese
led to
bats
believe?
in this particular paper had nothing to do with Omicron, which they, in this paper, say came from the original COVID-19 strain.
All
Anyway,
right.
you could probably find it. John Campbell, Omicron, pigs. That'll probably find it on YouTube if you want to have a look.
All right.
So, yeah, Omicron is COVID-19.
My next comment is from Howard, Left Coast guy, and he says, another good show. Always is with Nettie, as it seems to usually be around 30 minutes. He's talking about Good Morning Thailand on Monday.
Oh, I see.
30 to 40 is a sweet spot for me. Those approaching 50 minutes is just too long and loose. Thanks, Jay. I know you try to keep it tight. Oh, by the way, the new news, Asian news today, is good. Nice work, Tim.
Thank you very
A
much.
lot of love for Asian news today.
Yeah, wish we'd get the clicks, but anyway.
But we've just started off.
It's a new program, and we're trying to broaden our perspective here at the Thaiger and covering Asian news. It's actually very interesting putting it together each day. The things happening in the different Asian countries are all quite different from what we experience here in Thailand on a daily basis.
Howard gave me another question
Yes.
that made me think of a question, rather. Do you think there's room for a podcast, like a dedicated 1-hour podcast, where people just want to listen to Tim's and Natty's soothing voice?
Well, they can do that by watching us on YouTube, but
As well as
looking at the picture.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah,
Good
so
Morning Thailand,
there
now
you go.
available on podcasts.
What do? You go to Apple Podcast and type in Good Morning Thailand.
That's right.
Bingo. So if you don't want to see our hideous faces, then you can listen to us, or just turn the picture down, or face your laptop away from you.
Could do.
Just listen to our mellifluous
Can do.
tones. Speaking of our tones, we addressed it yesterday. Somebody saying, "Would you please get somebody with a proper English accent to do the program?"
Yep.
And they were complaining about they said that they don't like the Australian or the American accent. So they're referring to me and Jet, I believe. What is your accent? How would you describe it?
An international
Multicultural.
kid. Yeah, multicultural, yes. I feel like my accent is very commonly found in Thailand.
Very common.
Or in Asian countries where kids have gone to international schools. It's a mixture of...
This and that.
yes, this and that. I'm definitely not British, but to the Americans, I sound British. To the British, I definitely don't sound British.
Okay, basically indistinguishable.
Just a man of the world.
Yeah, just read the subtitles underneath if you don't understand.
That's right.
But to the person who didn't like the Australian and the Americans, we are just the mere colonials of the original English speakers. So maybe we could put on a British accent and be very posh.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Arr, 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 arr.
How, Tim? Wow.
That didn't sound very British.
I tried to do my best impersonation of the Queen.
Arr.
Oh, wow. That, Tim.
Does she say wow, does she?
I don't know. Wow. She doesn't say well. She says wow.
Hey, wow, wow. I see what you mean. Wow, wow, wow.
I'm gonna be. We're gonna be roasted by some British people today.
Yes. And by the way, we do hope Queen Elizabeth is getting back to
That's right.
better health.
She had COVID.
Yeah,
she's
she
still
was,
recovering, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't believe she's had any bad symptoms, but
Okay,
she
that's
is
great. That's
resting
good
and
news.
obviously isolating. I think her job's fairly isolating in the first place, but she's probably been playing with the corgis and having tea with Camilla.
Have some scones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Camilla and them are friends now. Have you ever watched what's that show on Netflix?
The Crown. I love The Crown. Okay. I think there's a new series, number 5 and 6, coming out in November.
How with Diana?
Not really sure if it's a sort of a true representation of what happens. It's a dramatisation, yes. I don't think they claim it's factual, but still very well put together and quite authentic in the portrayal of the people and the sort of scenarios and the palaces and stuff.
I'm going to bring us back on track because I just saw your next comment, which is about 3 pages long.
Yeah, look, I'll get through it as quickly as I can. This is from Jack Smith. I've got a funny feeling that's not his name or her name. The number of stupid comments about certain Thai islands having no scooters for rent or saying the tree town in Pattaya is busy is incredible, Jay.
Okay.
Thailand has been on lockdown for the better part of 2 years. That's not quite right. With a tiny fraction of the 40 million tourists pre-COVID during those 2 years. The damage that's been done to the tourism industry, bars, hotels, taxis, tourism, attractions, etc., is immeasurable. Nearly finished. Yes, just ignore all the buildings and the storefronts for rent sale. Give me a break. It's going to take years for tourism to get back to pre-COVID levels, if ever. So, okay, Jack, he's expressed his opinion there,
Yeah.
and I think you're right in saying that the road back for Thailand tourism is going to be quite long. It's not just automatically going to snap back. I think other people are now looking at going to different places. Maybe Thailand's golden era of tourism is over. We don't know. We still think that Thailand's got plenty to offer. But as the rest of the world opens up faster, people who may have been coming to Thailand might be looking to other places. We get that, including Mexico. The other thing about the scooters, all these rental companies went out and bought those powered electric scooters to rent out to foreigners. And now the police have said, no, they're illegal. You can't take them on the roads.
Yes.
And
Well, there's a huge scandal about it.
yeah, I've got a funny feeling you could pick up a cheap scooter now that was bought by a rental company in the hope they could fleece foreigners for a few expensive rentals and hit them with a few insurance scams. I could ride it around because I'm in a
your village.
a gated community, and I could ride around with a sort of a little sporty helmet,
Of course.
in sort of lycra shorts.
You do look like the type of person who would wear a helmet for a scooter within
and knee pads,
a gated community.
knee pads and elbow pads.
Elbow pads, yeah.
Yeah, and foot warmers and lycra pants.
Yeah. With a sweater.
And a headband. And a sweater tied around my neck.
Yeah.
Like a real preppy. Okay. Thanks very much, Jack Smith, and I think you're pretty much right in a lot of what you said.
Right, my next comment is from Paul, who says, Jay, are you serious that arrival cards on the plane is more of a hassle than the Thailand pass?
What do you think?
Comment, Paul. So I believe he's talking about the white and blue form, the T60, whatever it's called.
TM8?
TM8, whatever it's called.
I can't remember. We probably got that wrong.
It's basically the arrival card that you...
They hand it out.
They hand it out before you land. You fill in your details, your passport details when you arrive. Immigration stamps it, and then you have to keep the... You always have to keep the small stub
And
before you leave and make sure you don't lose it.
if you lose it, you're in real trouble, by the
Yeah,
way.
the only point I was trying to make is that they will most probably use Thailand Pass in the future as a way to get rid of this
a replacement.
card. Yeah, so
What do you think?
I don't know about you, Paul. Maybe you have a very free flow way of traveling and you're a backpacker. But when I'm going to a country that for traveling, I'd like to pre-book my flights and my hotels, which is all I need for my trip, and then. Yeah, I'd rather just do the form online on an app on my phone rather than fill it up. I find that less of a hassle.
Usually the problem on the flight is actually having a pen. There's usually
Yes.
one pen on the entire plane being handed around. And the other thing is they hand out the arrival forms.
Yeah.
And about 20 minutes before you land, they said, you've got to put your tray table up. So you're sitting there going,
But sometimes,
whoops.
sometimes I don't know. There's been a couple of times where perhaps they forgot to give the form. You wait in line, you reach the immigration officer, he tells you, "Oh, sorry, no form. You fill form now," and then
You've got to go back to the line. Oh, well, that's just silly you.
No, actually, I'll be completely honest. That has actually happened because I still have to stand in the foreigner line. They're like, "Sorry, you fill form," and then I start speaking Thai. I'm like, "Oh, ขอโทษครับ" and they'll be like, "Oh, คนไทย, okay," and then they just fill the form in for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, a bit of favoritism there.
Quite nice.
Do you flash a 100 baht note or something?
No, just the normal Thai smile.
Dale McKinney. Newsflash, if you're deathly sick from COVID, you don't need to be incarcerated in a hospital jail cell. Well, if you are deathly sick from COVID, I think you do need to go to a hospital. But I get what he's saying. He's worried about these people who are reporting positive for COVID and then being carted off to hospital. If they have symptoms that may need treatment, I think there's a lot of people that perhaps are not feeling terribly well. And they do an ATK test, for example, and they go, oh, I'm positive, and they just stay home and just get through it at home. I think a lot of that is happening.
People can't afford it. Some people can't afford the hospital.
They can't afford the cost of the hospital, and then they can't afford to have 10 days off.
Yeah, there are a lot of Thai people and foreigners who live and work in Thailand who can't afford that. Not everyone here is rich and making, $50,000 or whatever. Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
Okay.
What, a year or a week?
No, I meant a month, but then I was like, that's way too much.
That's too much.
You're astronaut or something.
That's sort of the, almost the amount you get paid.
Yeah.
To you.
Not everyone can be me, apparently. $50,000 a month. If I made $50,000
You wouldn't be here.
Peter Carr says, Tim, before I actually read this comment out, I don't know if this is appropriate or not, so this might be cut. But Peter Carr said this comment, which I didn't completely get if you were being sarcastic or not. He says, Tim, we are from the same era. I always use the word near cough and far cough saying, because you said that in the morning, you wanted to cough, and you said, oh, I'm going to do a far cough. Now, was that a play on words, or is that a thing? Because I'm unaware of this.
I said, I'm not going to do a near cough. I'm going to do a far cough. That's what I said. Because I didn't want to
Is that a play on words?
Maybe.
Is that just a smart, cheeky Australian thing you did?
Maybe.
Okay, we're going to leave it there.
Thank you. What's his name? Peter?
Peter.
So we're of the same era. Oh, so you're in your 40s too. Great.
And it's you next.
Oh, it's me.
Yes.
Duncan Donut.
Okay.
Duncan spelled D-U-N-C-U-N.
Yeah.
C-A-N. Self-test is a test. Ha-ha. Positive, you go to hospital. I don't see the difference. So that said that you don't have to have the pre-booked SHA plus accommodation or the pre-booked and paid PCR test for day 5 from March the 1st, but you've still got to do a self-ATK test.
Yeah.
Now, as I reasoned the other day, if you're doing a test by yourself, you might just sort of go and then do the test and, it's come back negative. You take the photo and upload it onto Morchana. I think that's the idea. Yeah, I just don't think the self-test is going... If you're positive, I imagine you're going to walk into 7-Eleven and get another test and try and do your best to make sure it's negative. But we don't recommend that. That would be a very bad thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think people are going to do it anyway.
All right. I've got a comment here from Pierre who says, sure, we live in a global world, yet Thailand has nothing to do with the Ukraine and Russia conflict and therefore should not take side. Neutrality is the way to go. Well, Pierre, thank you for that very relevant comment, as yes, Russia has invaded Ukraine. However, Thailand has yet to comment on the situation or where it stands as of today, which is Friday, where we're shooting. We don't know about tomorrow.
And certainly at the Thaiger, we've taken a very neutral stance. We're not going to be favouring one side or the other. We're just reporting the news as it comes. So we won't be taking sides here at the Thaiger. Sorry if that's going to disappoint some people. But as far as Thailand's concerned, it will be interesting to see if they come up with their own sanctions or they just toe the line of the US and their allies. And Thailand, I think, sees itself as an ally. But then again, I think Thailand sees itself as an ally of everybody, including Saudi Arabia and even China.
Yeah, happy people here.
Yes. Was that you?
Yes, that was
me. Brendan Lesko. No scooters on... Oh, no, we just did that one, didn't we? Dean Martin.
Okay.
Who's not the crooner. He's long dead. Oh. But another Dean Martin says, and once you arrive, nothing is open. It's like a ghost town, and all the lockdown rules are the same apart from the lockdown. Only the desperate and the sex-starved are roaming the empty bars and streets now. If you have a single bit of common sense, you'll travel to another country. Well, we've seen plenty of video. Indeed, Jay's been out there wandering the streets at 3 in the morning. Nothing's open at 3 in the morning, by the way, at the moment. And places in Pattaya and Phuket, like Bangla Road. Even Soy Cowboy last night. I walked past last night, the night before. It was very busy, and that was around about 8 or 9 at night. Now, officially, these places have got to close at 11 o'clock, and officially, these places are functioning as quasi-restaurants. We'll leave all that for the police to sort out. But there is plenty to see, plenty to do at the moment, and Thailand is not locked down. Okay, so there's a curfew at about 11 o'clock. I dare say if you hang around, there'll be some bar that's still open after that. But look, I don't think your comments are totally fair, Dean. And Thailand certainly isn't in lockdown. It's not fully open, but it's certainly not locked down.
All right. My next comment is from Dom1, who says, is Camel really Caitlin in hiding?
Is he referring to Carmel?
He's
but he spelt it as Carmel.
Yes,
Camel.
Camel, yeah.
Camel.
He's referring to Carmel. Now, is Camel, or Carmel, really Caitlin in hiding?
Well, we actually haven't seen the two in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, they can't be. It's written in the stipulation of their contract.
Caitlin comes from Florida, I believe.
Yes.
And Carmel has a distinct accent.
Yes.
Which is not American or Southern USA.
Yes.
So my bet is that probably not the same person, but you just don't know.
Who knows?
Could be Caitlin doing a
Asian accent.
an Asian Carmel accent.
Yeah. Is
Carmel, are you Caitlin? She said yes.
yeah, a camel is Asian. Middle
Well, sort
Eastern?
of. Yeah. No camels in Thailand, by the way.
No camels in Thailand.
Plenty of humps, but no camels. DJT Forever says, watch Lethal Weapon 2 to see a documentary on how embassies stroke consulates work.
Lethal Weapon 2. Wow. Is that with Mel Gibson?
And Danny Glover.
Okay.
Good movies. So we were talking
Good
about...
movies. All right.
I thought they were great.
Yeah, great for action and 1 hour entertainment.
Where was Mel Gibson born?
Australia?
Yes, there you go.
Makes a lot of sense.
Not that we're in his latest sort of actions quite proud of that, but anyway, there you go. So we were talking to Ben Hart last week on the weekend, Lawyers, Guns and Money, about what embassies do. And I think we sort of got to the decision after about 20 minutes of discussion that they do pretty much F all. But I think in Lethal Weapon 2 there must be some race to an embassy. You see it in the movies all the time. People, I've got to get to the embassy and they get through the gates just as the people chasing them get their guns out and
to do a dive through the gate
in slow motion.
Yeah.
And I'm free. Well, it actually doesn't happen like that.
Yes.
So I can't remember exactly what happened in Lethal Weapon 2, but if you want to find out more about what embassies do, you could watch Lawyers, Guns and Money, a segment we do here at the Thaiger. Just type it in YouTube, Lawyers, Guns and Money, the Thaiger, and you'll find a whole series of our sort of discussions about legal things.
All right. My last comment today is from Aussie666 who
I've got
says...
3 more.
Oh, wow.
Aussie666.
Aussie666 who says, if Jay can get through just one show without saying allegedly for no reason, I will consider becoming a member. Allegedly. Now, that is an offer I'm willing to take.
Okay.
If Aussie666 does...
You just said allegedly, though.
I haven't. I've just read the question. But my point is, if Aussie666 becomes a member, I'm willing to go even a step further and give him one free wish. Whatever he wants, I will grant him. And if you become a member, Aussie666. Allegedly.
You still got to do the splits.
Allegedly.
No, you do have to do the splits. When we get 150,000. You've signed up for that.
Did you see what I did there? I felt like my joke didn't go through.
No, it didn't. It wasn't funny, that's why. Thomas John Robinson says that when I tried to contact the British Embassy, they were not responsive at all. I emailed my MP in the UK who researched the answer to my question, and she's more amazed than I was about the embassy being pretty useless. Well, look, I mean, I've got friends who are ambassadors. I've got friends who operate as honorary consuls. And look, I think they do a fine job, but they are
Ambassadors live a good life.
Yeah, they do. But they are tied as to what services they're able to provide. Some of them go above and beyond, and they go and visit people in hospital and they follow through people's cases and they try and give them advice. But legally, the consulates and the embassies don't have to do very much at all for citizens from foreign countries. So don't think running to your embassy is going to solve your problems if you've been a bad person. More from me.
Yes, please.
Richard King. Tim needs to stop looking at the camera, otherwise a great show. So I'm not sure where else I should look.
Yeah.
Where do I look?
Maybe he'd enjoy our podcast.
Well, the thing is, sort of working with cameras and Host 101, you do sort of share your time between looking at the host and looking at the people who are watching the show. I don't know what you expect me to do. This isn't a candid show. We're actually presenting a program to you. The last one here, Boda Zephyr. Do you have a comment on that last one?
No.
No. There you go. Boda Zephyr said, I think it looks good when Tim looks into the camera and then we can see his lovely, sparkling blue eyes.
That's why I didn't comment yet. Wow. Do you even have blue eyes?
Yeah. What colour do you think they are?
I just realised you have blue eyes. I've known you for so many months. I'm not even kidding. This is not a bit.
You've never looked close into my eyes, Jay.
How have I never noticed you have blue eyes?
Well, I wouldn't make too much about it. A lot of people have blue eyes, you know.
Not here, not in Thailand.
They're sometimes sort of a bit grey, sometimes they're a bit blue.
I just thought they were like brown.
Thank you, Boda. And
Boda's looking into your eyes.
whispering sweet nothings.
Wow.
Just send money and I'll give you a close-up.
It's just breaking out in careless whisper.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. I don't think he's playing the recorder, but anyway.
That was my saxophone.
Was it?
An attempt. I obviously don't play the saxophone.
George Michael didn't play the saxophone nor the recorder. He played a lot of other things, but that's another story. Oh, we should thank our sponsors.
Coffee culture, that's right. You can actually buy tasting packs. If you don't want to invest in the big bag, you can buy a tasting pack where you can get like mini bags and taste different types of coffee and then buy it at coffeeculture.asia, your favorite pack.
Coffeeculture.asia.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Fine, fresh coffee and lots of different brews and blends.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coffee Culture, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the show. We hope you've enjoyed it, and if you do have any comments, any funny comments, any...
I've got a question.
Yes.
Why is Tiger Bite so popular?
That's an excellent question.
It seems to be the most popular we do on the popular program we do on the Tiger at the moment.
We used to do Tiger Bites every
Every day.
and it got to the point where we felt like, Tiger Bites is one of the more, more fun shows. It doesn't really... match with our news shows, so let's just do it once a week because it's not crazy popular. But now that we've made it on a Saturday once a week, it's just nuts.
Seems to be required Saturday viewing.
It gets on average 20 to 25,000 views, just comments, like just
there you go.
It doesn't make sense.
Nothing makes sense.
What
in
is
YouTube.
life? What is love?
By the way, just to prove that this isn't a green screen, this is green, this plant, so we're not using a green screen. That's a real backdrop. Now you know.
That's right.
And thank you to That was the reason we couldn't use the green screen.
That's right, because it's Lumberjack Fridays and I'm wearing a green Lumberjack shirt.
Ruined everything.
In love for the trees. All right, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. We hope you enjoyed the episode and we hope you join us again next week. As for now, you can leave a comment in the comment section below to be featured on our next episode.
So try and come up with something really nasty and bitchy.
Or something cool or interesting or funny.
Well,
there's many ways to get on Tiger Bites.
Yes, witty's what we're looking for.
Yes. As for now, I'd like to say thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, viewer.
Yeah, thank you, viewer. Thank you to Shy behind the buttons, sporting a very beautiful Tiger shirt, which you can buy at thetiger.com/shop. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.